And we are not live. It's your favorite insurance agents, Darnold Jr. and
Michelle DeSalle, the Wealth Tattletale.
And today we have a very great topic for you guys today. As you know, the real estate market has been going up and down and up and down. It's been crazy. There's the prices are going up, the interest rates are going up,
yes.
Everything's going up. So I have a very, very special guest. So she's going to update us on the housing market for May 2022. So if you're interested in anything real estate related, this is the show to tune into. So let's go ahead and get lit. I am super excited to have this young lady on because I talked to her for an extensive amount of time at a networking meeting, and she is so knowledgeable, so personable. So if you ever need any real estate, definitely reach out to her. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring on Julie Harrison.
Hi, guys. How are y'all?
Doing great, Julie. How are you today?
Good. Thank you.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us and to educate the people on the real estate market. But before we get started, go ahead and introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? What is your background?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Julie Harrison. I am a residential real estate agent in the Houston area. I am with a brokerage out in the Heights, but we service all of Houston and surrounding counties. I got licensed back in 2011, but shortly after I had my daughter in 2013, so decided to be a stay-at-home mom. But at the same time, my broker, her brokerage was growing, and so she needed some help being with admin and documents. So I stepped in and kind of was a compliance director. But in 2020, she asked me to come on and help be her buyer's agent. So I was excited to step into the role, and it's been a roller coaster, but it's been fun.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Well, this is a subject that everybody is concerned about lately. I've had several conversations about what's going on in the real estate market. And so I'm glad that you're able to shed some light on it, because my knowledge is limited, but I do know it's an issue that's going on. People can't find houses, it's shortages and everything. So we're so happy to have your insight.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. I mean, when we get into a house, my clients really like it. I just kind of try and set their expectations and say, there's a chance that we're going to be competing with 5, maybe 15 other offers. So, just setting their expectations right now, I think is the most important when you get started.
So let's talk about what's going on with the market today as opposed to 6 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen an increase, especially since like January. I mean, normally, like when we go to run comps to see what's comparable, we go back 6 months. But right now, we're actually going back 3 months because we've seen such an increase. Builders aren't getting the supplies, the lumber's going up. So all of these things start to affect it, and people just get pushed back and pushed back. And then a lot of your first-time home buyers that would normally buy a new construction house, they can't afford them anymore because they're well over the $200,000. So it's, a lot of buyers are getting frustrated for sure right now.
Wow.
Absolutely. So what is your tips and tricks on how to navigate this market? Like if I was a buyer and I was like, I really want to buy my first home right now, like what is the first step you would give them in this market right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've actually worked with a lot of first-time home buyers last year. And I think, like I mentioned before, I think setting their expectation is good. I think them getting in front of a lender that you know and you can trust, and they're already pre-approved, so you know what your budget is. And another tip that we try and tell our clients is that, if you're approved for $300,000, maybe we go look at 280. So you have a little bit of wiggle room. So if you do want to bid over, it's okay. We can do that. And you're not going to get in trouble when we go to finance, get to finalize the loan and get in, something like that. So there's a few things that we can do to just as far as educating and setting their expectations.
Excellent. So if a house doesn't appraise, has that been a big issue for you guys right now, since people are paying cash and they're paying way over the sales price? Like, how does that work for you guys?
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of sellers agents are asking for the buyers just to waive the appraisal. And so that kind of gets tricky when they ask stuff like that. We try not to do that. So another that goes back to making sure you have the extra funds. So if it doesn't appraise, you can bring that extra money to the table.
Can you enter this? A lot of investors are coming and buying properties, paying cash, buying several properties at one time. How is this affecting the market for for people that are trying to buy their homes when the investors are buying up all the properties?
Yeah, yeah, that is tough dealing with the investors, especially when they're paying cash. It's
Yeah.
hard to compete with cash. But there's also the sellers that are selling are also buying, so that they understand from the perspective of buying. So we're seeing a lot of sellers being understandable and kind of given it, they don't want to sell to investors, they'd rather sell to a family.
Right.
And so I
Mhm.
think within the email, when we submit our offer, we say, I've been working with you know John for 8 months, and we haven't found a place, and we've submitted 10 offers, and this is his first home. And
Yeah.
we're not making that up. We're being
Right.
honest and transparent. And I think they see that because they're going through it on the other end.
Right. Right. Well, I got a video sent to me the other day, and it was a realtor, and she was, talking about how there's a shortage of inventory trying to, find houses for their clients. So if anybody knows of anybody that's selling their house, let me know so that we can provide, have inventory. And that is scary to think about, Julie.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are things that we do as realtors. We can, if I have a client looking in a specific neighborhood, we can send out letters, we can knock on doors, we can say, "Hey, look, are you interested in selling your house?" So, we search for off market properties for sure.
So I know I get this all the time, and my home is not up
Same.
for sale at all. These
Right.
people will send a text and ask you, "Hey, Michelle, are you interested in selling your home at blah 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 blah?" And I'm thinking, uh, "Are you interested in selling your home to me?"
Right.
That's funny.
Yes.
But
Mm.
is that part of the process of what you're doing, just to trying to find houses, just asking people whether they're selling it or not?
Well, we kind of, we'll send out a flyer so we're not super aggressive. And then if we see a house that, our clients really like, and we'll pull it up on the MLS, and we'll reach out to the previous agent and say, "Hey, do you still have a relationship with, your seller or your client? If so, are they interested?" So we don't come across as being super aggressive by any means.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So where do you see the market going? Some people are calling it a bubble right now. Do you think it's truly a bubble, or is it truly supply and demand and it's going to be sustained over a long term?
Yeah, I mean, we don't see a slowdown right now by any means, just because, the low inventory, the builders aren't building as fast. So we don't see it slowing down anytime soon. So I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I had that answer.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
So tell me about, as an agent yourself. I had this conversation last night, and a friend of mine that's in real estate, she's like, "It's really rough. I mean, I really need a sale," and it's kind of like that's scary as well, because that's your livelihood. That's what you do. So is that pressure kind of across the board, or what?
Yeah, I think so. And I think a lot of it is, and what I've learned is, and I keep saying it a lot, but it's really reaching out to my buyers and sitting down with them and finding out exactly when they need to move out.
Mm.
When they, are they going to be okay if it's 6 months down the road and we don't have a house for them yet? It's just really setting their expectations. And if they do need to be out, then we have to be aggressive, and we need to have that
Mm.
conversation of what that looks like.
Yeah. Well, it's an overall stressful situation, on all sides. I had a family member, they were selling their home, but they sold to an investor, and they
Mm.
didn't find a home. quickly enough. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Because it happened so fast that the investor allowed them to stay there. They paid more rent than they had paid in that house because the investor was now charging them $1,400 to live in a house that they lived in for 26 years.
Wow.
And so after 2 months, the investor is aggressive. Now you have a deadline. You got to go. So then there was they hadn't bought a house or whatever. And so then you have to rely on family members to let you come to stay until you figure something out. And that situation is real for so many people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And we try and, negotiate things like that beforehand. If the sellers need to stay a little longer, then we'll get them a lease back. And so they can allow themselves an extra 2 or 3 weeks to stay in the house. So, there are little things we can do, but there's some things that just, like that situation, there's, what can you do?
And that's one reason why people should kind of deter from selling to investors.
There you go. That's true. And I read an article recently that said foreclosures is on the rise. Kind of speak to that. Have you seen that as a trend right now?
No, I mean, and again, I deal with a lot of buyers and buyer's agent. A lot of buyers. So I haven't really seen a lot of foreclosures yet. I don't know if I hope that's not happening.
Yeah, I hope not either, because it's not good news for anybody, because that the Fed is already talking about raising interest rates even more at a more aggressive rate. And it pretty much tanked the stock market last week because of that.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, it's been a roller coaster for everybody. But if the interest rates do rise, like what have y'all seen I know you're not a mortgage broker, but what have you seen as far as interest rates for your buyers?
Like 4.5. They're definitely going up.
Yeah. So that reduces their buying power over the long run. And ultimately they'd be paying way more for the house than they would have if it was a lower interest rate, right?
Correct. Yes.
So how do you navigate this market? Like, oh my gosh, it seems like it's a catch-22.
I know.
Prices going up, interest rates are going up. Like, what is your best tips for somebody they're like, we have to buy, we just really want to buy a house right now?
I think, getting them in front of a good lender, somebody that's going to do his due diligence up front, so they know exactly what they can afford, and what that mortgage payment is going to look like. So I think that's the first step for anybody really wanting to buy is, what can I afford? What are my monthly payments going to be? And then once we get past that, then we can go out and really get out there and look at houses.
Excellent. Cool. Well, you've been a doll. Thank you for all the pointers, and we appreciate your time. We know time is short for you, and family duties call, right? So how can people get in contact with you if they want to reach out to you, if they're interested in buying a house right now?
I can share my email address. I mean, I am, attached to my phone, as most realtors are in this market. So I can definitely share my email.
Yes. And what is it?
Julie Harrison, realtor@gmail.com.
Excellent. Cool. Well, if you need a house, reach out to Julie and she'll definitely help you. As you can tell, she's very friendly and very knowledgeable. So we appreciate you, Julie, for being on the show, and hopefully we'll have you on the show in the future.
And enjoy your evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a nice night.
Mm-hmm. You too. Okay. Wow.
So listen, it's tough trying to buy a house. Mm-hmm. Also, my realtor friend was telling me it's hard even finding rental properties for people that want to rent a house.
Because I heard rent is going up.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. And so all I know is that right now, I'm glad I'm not in the market to buy a house.
Same. Right? I'm very grateful. Oh. My cousin, she's a realtor also. Yeah. In 2019, she's like, you guys should really consider buying a house. And I was like, okay, whatever. If we find one, we find one. If we don't, we don't.
Right.
But I'm grateful we found it when we did. It was right before the pandemic hit.
Oh, yeah.
And we have so much equity in our house now. I was like, nothing like God's timing.
I'm telling you, that is, it's something. And it just really breaks my heart because that's one of the biggest investments people will make. And when you want that, and now you're ready, and you've done all your due diligence, you've saved, you've straightened up your credit and everything, and then you have this wall, and it's so many variables that keep you from it. Like I said, supplies, that's expensive. Builders aren't building it. It's that puzzle.
Yep.
Every part, it's an intricate part of the why I can and why I can't.
Absolutely. So just got to stay patient and persistent.
And
so just keep going. And if it's your dream, like, you can make it happen. You can make anything happen that you put your mind to.
But I just want to stress, for everyone, I mean, we understand and we feel your pain, but exercise patience. And this is the time when people can get so frustrated, because this is a big deal for people. Absolutely. So I pray for your patience. And I also pray that you have loving family members that will come to your aid and say, hey, look, come on over. Stay with us until you find what you need, right? Absolutely. No stress. I pray for you guys,
Absolutely.
Really, because that's what you need in times like this. You really do.
Absolutely. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you got any value out today, go ahead and smash that like button. Yes. If you haven't already, subscribed to the YouTube show. You could go to finlitlive.com, and it has a link straight to the YouTube channel.
And follow this guy on Instagram. And you can follow me on Instagram, Michelle DeSalle, the Wealth Tattletale.
Yeah, so. Definitely follow and like and subscribe. Yep. So we appreciate you guys for getting lit. And until next time, check out the show. Bye-bye.